$50 billion. China's space program doesn't just explore beyond Earth, it has positioned the nation to control access to resources that will define the next century of human development. The Tianwen Mars mission successfully landed a rover on Mars while establishing orbital operations, making China only the second nation to achieve controlled Mars landings. But their real achievement lies in building space capabilities that operate independently of Western technology and partnerships. But China's space station program represents something more ambitious than scientific research. It's infrastructure for manufacturing and resource extraction that cannot be replicated on Earth. The Tiangong space station supports experiments in zero gravity that produce materials impossible to create under terrestrial conditions, while serving as a staging platform for lunar missions and asteroid mining operations that could revolutionize Earth's resource availability. The technological independence China achieved through their space program extends far beyond rockets and spacecraft into manufacturing capabilities that produce components Western space agencies cannot access due to political restrictions. Chinese engineers developed life support systems, navigation technology, and propulsion methods that operate reliably without depending on international cooperation or shared technologies. Their lunar sample return missions acquired materials that provide insights into solar system formation while demonstrating robotic systems capable of operating autonomously across interplanetary distances. These technologies translate directly into Earth-based applications, including mining, manufacturing, and environmental monitoring that provide economic advantages beyond space exploration. The space program's military applications remain largely classified, but their satellite networks provide navigation, communication, and surveillance capabilities that operate independently of GPS and other Western systems. This technological independence ensures that China's critical infrastructure cannot be disrupted through international political pressure or military action. Construction of space-based infrastructure proceeds according to timelines that assume permanent human presence beyond Earth, with manufacturing capabilities and resource extraction systems that could fundamentally alter Earth's economic relationships once space-based materials become accessible. But while China reached for the stars, the project that came next focused on something more immediate yet equally transformative, creating cities from nothing using technologies that make traditional urban planning obsolete. 3. Belt and Road Initiative, $1 trillion. The Belt and Road Initiative doesn't just connect countries, it's rebuilding global trade infrastructure according to Chinese specifications, creating economic relationships that will define international commerce for the next century. Spanning over 70 countries across Asia, Europe, and Africa, this isn't just the largest infrastructure project in human history, it's economic engineering that makes participating nations dependent on Chinese systems, technology, and financing. But the initiative's true genius lies in creating infrastructure that appears to benefit everyone while ensuring Chinese control over critical systems. Ports built through BRI financing use Chinese equipment operated by Chinese companies and financed through terms that provide China with operational control when payments become difficult. These aren't just trade relationships, they're economic colonization disguised as development assistance. Railway connections spanning from China to Europe reduce shipping times from weeks to days, while creating overland trade routes that bypass traditional maritime choke points controlled by Western navies. Countries that previously required weeks to receive Chinese goods now have direct railway connections that operate according to Chinese scheduling and technical standards. The project's financing mechanisms create debt relationships that provide China with influence over domestic policies in participating countries. When nations cannot repay infrastructure loans, China acquires operational control over ports, railways, and power plants, creating permanent footholds in strategically important regions worldwide. Technology transfer requirements ensure that BRI infrastructure operates using Chinese standards and equipment, creating maintenance dependencies that last decades beyond initial construction. Countries that accept BRI investment commit to technology ecosystems that integrate with Chinese systems rather than Western alternatives. Environmental and labor standards associated with BRI projects often exceed what participating countries can enforce domestically, demonstrating Chinese capabilities while building goodwill that translates into political influence and preferential trade relationships that compound over time. While BRI reshaped global trade networks, the next project focused on something more fundamental, reshaping how humans interact with technology itself, creating capabilities that make Western tech companies look primitive. 2. China's digital currency, DCEP, and social credit system, $200 billion. China's digital currency electronic payment system doesn't just replace cash. It creates a financial surveillance network that tracks every transaction while providing the government with economic control capabilities that democracies cannot replicate. Combined with the social credit system, China has built infrastructure that monitors, evaluates, and influences citizen behavior through financial incentives and restrictions that operate automatically without human oversight. But this isn't just about government control, it's about creating economic efficiency that eliminates fraud, tax evasion, and financial crime, while providing services that adapt to individual needs in real time. Citizens with high social credit scores receive preferential interest rates, faster government services, and access to premium transportation options, while the system automatically restricts certain privileges for those whose behavior doesn't meet social standards. The technology integration extends beyond payments into every aspect of daily life. Facial recognition systems that automatically deduct transit fares, shopping systems that process purchases without cashiers or credit cards, and lending platforms that approve loans instantly based on social credit scores and transaction histories that provide more accurate risk assessment than traditional banking methods. International implications become apparent as Chinese tourists and businesses carry this technology globally, creating payment systems that operate independently of Western financial networks while providing China with economic intelligence about global commerce patterns and consumer behavior in foreign markets. The social credit system's artificial intelligence analyzes behavior patterns that predict everything from loan defaults to criminal activity, allowing preventive interventions that reduce social problems while maintaining citizen satisfaction through improved services and reduce crime rates in participating communities. Western technology companies studying China's digital payment systems admit they're witnessing financial technology that's decades ahead of anything under development in democratic countries, where privacy concerns and regulatory restrictions prevent the data integration necessary for similar efficiency levels. But while digital currency revolutionized how China manages its domestic economy, what came next wasn't just revolutionary. It was a complete reimagining of what's possible when a nation decides that geographical constraints are merely engineering problems to be solved, creating something so ambitious that it makes America's infrastructure development look frozen in time. China's artificial sun, East Tokamak, $15 billion. This is the Chinese megaproject that proves America is 100 years behind. An artificial sun that generates temperatures exceeding 100 million degrees Celsius and sustains nuclear fusion reactions that could provide unlimited clean energy for all humanity. While American politicians debate infrastructure spending and struggle to repair aging bridges, China has built a machine that recreates the power source of stars, achieving fusion reactions that burn hotter than the sun's core and maintain plasma stability for minutes at a time. The experimental advanced superconducting tokamak represents more than scientific achievement. It's proof that China has mastered technologies that Western nations are still trying to understand theoretically. The facility maintains magnetic fields 160,000 times stronger than Earth's magnetic field, while controlling plasma that would instantly vaporize any material it touches, using superconducting magnets cooled to temperatures approaching absolute zero, just meters away from fusion reactions, hotter than anything in the solar system. But East's true significance lies in what it represents for global energy independence and technological supremacy. If China achieves commercially viable fusion power first, they will control technology that makes oil, gas, and even renewable energy sources obsolete. Nations that master fusion energy could provide unlimited power at costs approaching zero, fundamentally reshaping global economics and ending energy scarcity forever. The engineering required to build East involved solving problems that didn't exist until they created them. How to contain plasma at stellar temperatures using magnetic fields, how to extract more energy than the system consumes, and how to maintain equipment operating under conditions more extreme than spacecraft encounter in deep space. Chinese engineers developed materials, computer systems, and manufacturing techniques that enable controlled nuclear fusion in ways that Western fusion projects have struggled to replicate. Construction required precision that makes spacecraft assembly look casual, components manufactured to tolerances measured in fractions of millimeters, installation procedures that cannot tolerate any errors, and testing protocols that verify performance under conditions that cannot be simulated elsewhere on Earth. The facility operates using power supplies that could run entire cities, while cooling systems maintain temperatures colder than outer space, just meters from the hottest temperatures humans have ever created. International fusion researchers who visit East admit they're witnessing capabilities that surpass Western fusion programs by decades. While American and European fusion projects struggle with funding delays and technical limitations, China has built and operated a fusion reactor that consistently breaks world records for plasma temperature and containment duration. The most sobering realization for Western observers isn't just that China has built something their countries cannot replicate. It's that East represents Chinese engineering capabilities advancing at speeds that make catching up increasingly impossible, suggesting that America's technological leadership may already be a historical curiosity rather than current reality.